I'm ready. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yariktza Coronado, and this is my Close the Gap project, Bakersfield Youth for Public Health. Next slide. Here is a brief overview of what I will be presenting today in my pitch day slides. Next slide. First, I'll start by telling you a little bit about myself. Like I said, I am Yariktza Coronado, and I am a West High School senior. I live in Bakersfield, California, and perhaps the most important thing you should know about me is that public health is my passion. Throughout my high school career, I have been pursuing an associate's degree in public health at Bakersfield College, and I will be graduating in the class of 2024. I believe that serving and leading my community is an honor, and that is why I was motivated to join the Close the Gap team, which has proved to be an amazing opportunity for me to give back to my community. Besides that, I enjoy gardening and writing poetry on my own time. Next slide. Moving on to some background context on my community, which has inspired this project. Bakersfield is a city in Kern County that is infamous for having some of the worst rates of health. Here are some statistics that I found from the Kern County Public Health Department, which show that we are a county that struggles to achieve good health. Part of this, I believe, has to do with a lack of funding for health resources and health education starting from an early age. When there is a lack of health education for youth, there is a great public health crisis for communities. Next slide. I strongly believe that if you teach young people what it means to live well, they have a greater potential to lead a life of wellness into adulthood, therefore improving the overall health of a community. This is a belief that has started the foundation of Bakersfield Youth for Public Health, which is a campaign that I started in hopes of promoting public health literacy to young people in my community. Next slide. I used the UN Sustainable Development Goal, Good Health and Well-Being, for reference, and my campaign's mission statement is that I believe Bakersfield can become a healthier place for young people to grow into responsible, health-conscious adults. And the answer to this is public health literacy and promotion catered to youth. After all, youth is the future, and when we are health conscious of our minds and bodies, we are empowered. Next slide. I will now talk about how I impacted my community. The first part of my project included creating an Instagram account for outreach. I was able to gain 80 followers and counting, and on this account, I posted regular health-related content that is specifically for my community. For example, Bakersfield struggles during the summer heat waves, so I posted tips on how to stay cool and avoid heat-related illness. I also posted emergency safety tips, and I promoted living drug-free on Fentanyl Awareness Day, since fentanyl overdose is a common occurrence in my community. Many important local health businesses and companies have actually followed me, like NAMI and the Women, Infant, and Children program. And already, a local community activist, his name is Javon Dangerfield, has contacted me saying that he wants to support me in making a difference for Bakersfield youth. We plan to work together on projects to improve the health of our community, and I cannot wait to see what we can do together. Next slide. Moving on to the second and final part of my project. With the support of my amazing school principal, Mrs. Greger, I was able to host a total of 4 public health seminars at my school with almost 800 students in attendance. I talked to students about the importance of public health and shared healthy strategies that they can practice in their everyday lives to prevent disease or injury. The fact that I spoke to so many people still really shocks me, but I feel so happy and grateful that I got the chance to share such valuable information. Next slide. After each presentation, I offered a survey to students, and this is what they had to say. 90% of students said that they learned something new. 96.7% of students found the information useful and relevant. 100% of students, after the presentation, agreed that public health is important to society. And about 80% of students feel hopeful that with the right resources and interventions, health can improve in Kern County. A lot of students left me a lot of comments that said how much they enjoyed me coming to speak to them. And I will never forget how inspired it felt to read each and every single comment. Next slide. When I asked students if they will be joining the Bakersfield Youth for Public Health movement, more than 50% said yes, and I felt encouraged to start a school club in which I will continue promoting health literacy to youth in order for them to become empowered. In this club, I plan to do plenty of interactive events throughout my community to motivate people to practice wellness. Next slide. I will now move over to talk about the challenges I face and how I overcame them. In the beginning, I really struggled feeling helpless because of anxiety and imposter syndrome, and it was really difficult for me to actually start my project. But over time and with support, I learned to appreciate and be kinder to myself throughout this journey. Halfway through my project, however, I actually had to restart everything since my school had strict activity plans that they had already planned, and an entire health expo just couldn't fit. But I did not give up, and actually, I believe that my project went better than planned. Towards mid-July, I got sick with COVID-19 and felt bedridden for 2 weeks. This was really stressful, but ultimately it taught me that I need to take care of my own health if I want to be an advocate for others. Next slide. Overall, I gained a lot of experience throughout this project, like designing and marketing and managing an Instagram account, creating relevant survey questions, communicating effectively, and I overcame the fear of speaking in front of others. But most importantly, I learned to believe in myself and in my abilities to create an impact. Next slide. In the future, I want to continue studying public health and serving my community. I plan to work in the Kern County Public Health Department, and I will continue Bakersfield Youth for Public Health until Bakersfield becomes the city I dreamed that it could be. I know in my heart that I was born to make a difference in my community. And I want to thank Close the Gap for everything, but especially for helping me believe in myself. Truly, you have impacted my life forever. And a special thanks goes to my mentor, Joyce, who helped me throughout this journey, because without her support, I don't believe I would have gotten this far. Thank you, everyone.
What a phenomenal job. I mean, talking to 800 people makes pitch day look like a breeze. But a really great presentation, loved it, and what an amazing message. We can open up the Q&A now to our panelists. Would anyone like to start?
Yeah, I would love to. You're amazing. Like, I'm blown away. You're a high schooler, a senior. I have a daughter of the same age. Man, the initiative, the way you shared your data, the statistics, and your whole approach, very, very impressive. For such a young age, amazing job on this. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Just a quick, it's not even a question, just, like, we've all been through this, and, you're pretty young and you went through COVID and then you had to restart the whole project. So what went through your mind and how did you pick it up and restart?
Right. So being sick with COVID and really not being able to work on my project as well as how I would have had if I'd been healthy, it was really stressful, and it made me think like, oh, maybe this is a sign I shouldn't be doing this. But actually, I started to think about it some more, and I realized that, hey, COVID is still a major public health issue, and right now I'm dealing with it. And in my community, not just with COVID, but a lot of people feel helpless, sick in bed, and I want to be able to help them. So I need to first focus on my own health. I took some time to focus on my own health. And after I recovered, I was able to jump right back into my project, feeling even more inspired and motivated.
Amazing. Good job.
Thank you.
That is a real life scenario, by the way. Like, in life itself and in your career, you will run into things that will stop you, and you'll have to reshift and reshuffle, and you'll want to give up. And it's good to see the perseverance of fighting through and getting to the end, because your message is important. It's important everywhere, actually, and I'm grateful that there are people out there like you who want to continue that on as a career. What is the of all the challenges that you experience, like, what would you do different?
I think I would try to post a little bit more on the Instagram and actually reach out to more people in my community. So not just in my school. And I want to collaborate with leaders in my community to expand this project. I hope to work very hard to do my best to make sure that I fulfill my dream of Bakersfield becoming a healthier city. So I would have reached out to more people, specifically community activists like Jovan, who is actually going to be working with me in the future. We have plans to work together on my school's career fair, and he will come in and together we will make this project even greater?
You know, I call that the multiplier effect, right? Where you can do so much, you can reach so much people, but when you get other engaged in your message, then the multiplier becomes bigger. So I think that's a good plan. Very good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Yariktza. Again, a phenomenal presentation.